Ebusia for nete for ni die kwan so me patcho me ma obi bia akwaba ahan me daily update ebusia ye be kaya last minute of akofo adbra obi be ebusia yen kan kra on ye se on bibia wo mre o Nyankopon ya adona so tumi ebedi wonsem na wanhwe oman no ye yum na se o pursue your personal interest everything has an end. Say pa na now do ye boni din the ex account former president. Na adu show boy. Baby obuko bia no or that chiefs mon sorry na mon chia me. And then nyina akwesi say. Akwesi sen. Ebusia we a message to all of us. Nyankopon ya adom. Na so konya position bi and look it down on other people. Ye nyina ye nipa baako. Ye nipa baako. When by virtue of position now one, but without that position now one, only the ordinary person maybe who dream or ye MA or your manager be and now ye ni packet sebu adwumanim and obi nso ye cleaner bu cleaner no said ye also bu boss no because or chine bi no sa cleaner no bit my bear boss. What if say sa cleaner no your boss into sa treatment how the man and one out the man? Very, very important. Next is say pa ye born another din at the former president account. Ebusia, me patcho, let us zoom straight to the substantive matter. A day about sa interactive platform in Ebusia. Ye be kaya nanado bra o be free so no. The last minute appointment be or appointing MMDCs be and ne the first day of the new president, President Mahama. Were revoking and that's what terminated our contract in that last minute appointment na do make here no wa terminate were revoking no or say there be here na wo be free so akabe kakrebu be free so ba ya wo chese wa make appointment omo minimum there be minimum there was me make appointment now wo aka obey 2 days 3 days be na we free so na afi na wo make appointment or by Mahama be terminating in na wa be revoking ebusia member me kasa nyetinti e be koni agoje nsem ne nchire mu ankasa credit to TV3 Ghana Nyankopon nhira mu na onhira mu workers no bibia o TV3 Nyankopon nhira won so a wo hwe no onhira me nso me patcho me dase bebre yenko ti nsem ne for ourselves me dase bebre.
These are critically taken by the president, and then also what important issues will be tackled on his itinerary this morning. And if Komla is ready, will give us the latest update on that. We'll try. Okay, so Komla, so far, what is on the itinerary apart from the 2 sessions we've seen so far from the office of the president?
Roland, even before we do that, there's a breaking news that's just coming in from the office of the president, revocation of appointment. And this is a letter from the chief director of the Ministry of Local Government, Decentralization and Rural Development, and it's to the Chief Director of the Ministry of Local Government and Decentralization, Rural Development, captioned Revocation of Appointment in accordance with the powers vested in His Excellency John Dramani Mahama under the provisions of the Local Governance Act 2016 Act 936 Acts as amended by the Local Governance Amendment Act 2017 Act 940. The following appointments have been revoked effective today. The chief executives of metropolitan, municipal and district assemblies, assembly members appointed pursuant to relevant sections of this act. In the interim, the respective coordinating directors of the various MMDAs are directed to assume responsibility as acting chief executives until substantive appointments are duly made. Kindly take note and act accordingly. Signed, Callistus Mahama, PhD, Secretary to the President. Copied to the Vice President, the Office of the President, Jubilee House, then the Chief of Staff, the Office of the Jubilee House. So the news is that there has been revocation of appointments. And these individuals or these portfolios, chief executives of metropolitan, municipal, and district assemblies, and assembly members appointed pursuant to relevant sections of the Act have had their appointments revoked. This is a letter signed and released just now by Dr. Callistus Mahama, who is the secretary to the president. Actions are being taken immediately. Issues are happening right here, right on the clock at the office of the president. And this is what the breaking news is that we just got.
So by implication, is there any other response from any official in the office of the president? What actions need to be undertaken to keep the MMDAs running in lieu of the appointments that will be in waiting?
No, just this communication is what we have just had now, and it's come with nothing else apart from this. Whilst on air, this just came in, and we had to just break it. We have confirmed it, and we just had to break it, except to say that there is no other commentary on the matter, except clear decisions being made by His Excellency the President through his appointees, herein the Secretary to the President, Dr. Callistus Mahama.
All right. So I asked a question about what other issues will be discussed or will be looked at. You take a look at the itinerary of the president.
Yes, like I was saying early on before the president walked in, we had, when the president walked in, we had seen the Afri-Exim Bank boss, Professor Benedict Orama, reappointed as the Afri-Exim boss in 2020. He is the one who is meeting His Excellency the President. I mean, in his acceptance speech somewhere in 2020, he made it quite clear that he won an Africa where the foundations of the Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement are laid expeditiously so that 84,000 kilometers of borders that have been divided for ages begin to come down, where trade among countries are respected. My understanding is that, yes, of course, on the campaign trail, John Mahama mentioned quite well the role he expects the AFTA to play. Having him, meeting him on the very first day, in fact, the very first assignment tells a lot the role he intends to play with him as the Afri-Exim boss, and also how it could leverage the businesses, the use of AFTA, and also the businesses, especially the local ones here in Ghana, competing or trying to break into the African market is of much significance to him. I cannot tell for sure if these issues about energy would also come to play in this discussion, the closed-door discussion that is ongoing. As we speak, just after this, he will be meeting the World Bank. He will also be meeting the Commonwealth, among others. These are critical institutions that John Mahama needs. Early in the morning, I heard you talk about how he needs to reach out to the Bretton Woods institutions and how some level of confidence and hope should come to play. If this is anything to go by, it appears he doesn't want to give any excuse at all, because the mandate has already been given him, and he has to be seen as working in the interest of the country. We can only wait to see what the outcomes of these meetings would be like, and to what extent, you know, this will have benefits, so to speak, to the ordinary Ghanaian. But trade, very, very important, and also some level of exposure of Ghanaian businesses in the sub-region and on the continent of Africa. Very, very, very key to John Dramani Mahama, who is the President of the Republic.
Olakluche, thank you for the latest update. We can see that it's a sweaty morning for you, but don't worry. It's part of the reporting skills we've acquired over the period as well. And Dr. Asante-Okyere, so where do we move from here, knowing that this consideration will have to be? What sort of language should be coming from the office of the president to ordinary consumers and the Ghanaian people regarding this, knowing that there's a crisis that we could,
I think it's a matter of reassuring all of us that they're on top of their brief. They will have to continuously be transparent with us. It is, you see, sometimes there is a kind of dilemma in a philosophy of knowing and not knowing. You see, when you are there and you don't feel sick, you feel okay. Now, the decision is you go to the hospital and they tell you that there's something hidden that could kill you. Then suddenly, you start falling sick. So, you see, so which of the two philosophies do we go by? Knowing or not knowing? Knowing will kill you, not knowing to you are living a life of bliss.
If we didn't know that there was here, we'll be chilling.
Of course. You see, so the point is that the communication must be apt, right? The communication must be apt. Nobody appreciates the idea of staying or sleeping in darkness, the heat. You know, Ghana, perpetually we have a visitation from the sun. So in the evening, you ought to have some kind of light so that, I mean, you don't face that particular heat. It is very discomforting. And so I am really appreciative of what I'm seeing, the pictures that I'm seeing. I think that he's really started well because I see in him as someone who will always be pinching himself, saying that this is where I've come from. And in his speech, he said that he will not take the electorate vote for granted, right? And what he's doing now, I think that it is quite reassuring, and he's living by the things that he said.
Okay. Your last words before we go, Solo.
Yes, so I'm very happy that he's dealing with African, but whether or not he will succeed depends on how well we trade amongst ourselves on the African sub-region. So yesterday, for instance, I was very happy with the military.
Please speak boldly. You are known for, you are losing steam. Bring him some water.
Bring me some water. So yesterday, I was very happy that even the military dantes or the regimes came to this country. I want to believe that having learned how we change our government, they will also go back and replicate it and then begin to trade amongst ourselves. The business of Africa looking beyond ourselves and trying to do business with Asia, North America, Europe, is not what is going to save us. The Africa Continental Free Trade Area must be actualized. Borderless continent, so that the over 3 trillion value or volumes of business, we can take advantage of it to create employment opportunities for our people. I'm also sad that my brother Clement Opoku Jemfi just lost his job. I don't know whether because he came to TV3 this morning to defend the government a bit. Then all of a sudden, has flight. So what it means is that you are increasing the unemployment rate from 14.74 plus 0.00. But let us also caution some supporters of the National Democratic Congress. Roland, this morning, I understand people have invaded Tema Development Corporation, that all those that were employed during the regime of the MPP must leave. No, you can't do that. You have to follow due process. If they went through the Public Service Commission or they were employed through the normal channel, you cannot take the laws into your own hands and do whatever. So I believe the Chief of Staff, through this statement, would also do that greatest honor by extending it to other institutions. If you are the boss of, say, or you are the head of, say, the police, and you have to go immediately, you sign it. Chief of Defense Staff, you have to go, you sign it, water, so that everyone is clear, that we know the positions available, that Ghanaians have to reoccupy it for us to move ahead. Now the MMDC, they are all clear in their mind that no one is going to work tomorrow. So that they are like me, they come and then we all begin to treat ourselves very well in opposition. That is what I will say to you this morning. It's not encouraging at all. Seeing him living here just now with this statement.
Maybe he got the alert.
Or CID got the alert before he left
I'm
here.
sure. I'm sure.
Leave lawyer Clement Jemfi alone.
I'm sure he got that.
It's my brother too.
Abdulaziz, your
Let's
last
see.
few words.
Let's see what happens by close of day. What will come out of the technical group meeting that they are going to have related to the power crisis that is looming. Let's see what happens by close of day. But on the revocation of the appointments of the MMDP, it is in good place. The coordinating directors of the Race Assembly should take charge. I have that maybe in the next few days to come, they should dissolve all boards of state institutions, chief executive officers of state agencies. One
of the district
yes,
and the kinds of checks they were signing.
yes. So
because I was waiting for the evidence, I've not gotten the documents.
even vehicles. We know some are making attempts to change chassis numbers.
Wow.
They've gone to hide some of the vehicles. But you see, what they don't know is that if, for instance, we are appointed to go and head an institution, just ask for the access register. Look at their fuel purchases, and you know what has been going on. And so I think that even boards of state agencies should be dissolved in no time. Chief executive officers can also proceed.
There's a known case in respect of that. You know, Sam Okujetu also led. Anyway,
Yes.
We'll see how that goes.
Some of them, when you ask them even for access register, the vehicles we have, you can see some variances in it. So I don't think they should be in office for even up to a week from today. Okay. Board should be dissolved. CEOs, all right, let them go.
As we're doing this, legal practitioner Duji Tamaklo said he's watching keenly. We also hope that you are monitoring what's happening with the likely power outage. It says the daughter in Shira Ifya Tamaklo celebrating the birthday, so we wish you that they are all watching together. We'll see how that goes. But Prof, I also know that you have some great platform. For example, to check academic admissions. I didn't know that you were into tech and all that.
Well, I'm actually into tech. I mean, I'm a very ardent tech follower.
Okay.
Not the Baumia type.
No. Ours is not gaslighting. It's a proper tech. I have an admission checker. I think it helps students to check the admissions, chances going to the university. Okay. But that's not the only one. I have a software for the banks. Currently quite a number of banks are using. Okay. So these are some of the things.
And what
I think that accountability is very, very important, crucial. We have always been talking about the accountability from the political side.
I know that you have
the admission checker. Yeah, the admission checker that.
So if you want to, you just go to the site?
Yeah, you go to the site, you put in your results, and then it tells you your chances of having a particular university or course. Before you even buy the, but even now, you can even use it as a Form 1, Form 2.
And the portal is what?
Terminal, admissionschecker.com. So you can check your terminal results to see if you get these results in your final, would you get admission? So that you can help your wards to improve their result, their performance, etc. Yeah. So I was saying that, we need to start drilling down accountability down to the technical people. The Greek or the WAPCO or whatever people, they need to answer to us. Why did they agree to extend, postpone the maintenance, for example? Crapper and his people, they need to answer to us, although they are no longer in charge. They need to answer to us, why did they push us to that level where we only have 5 hours of whatever? Some of these, we can't let them go. So for me, Ghanaians alone, technical people must also be answered, right? And then of course the matter of transparency. Kudos to President Mahama.
When did Kappa take that particular position?
I think some few months.
Yeah. So Napo should be the one answering those questions.
Yes. Whoever is part of the.
he was a deputy, so when Napo was not in subsequent, he was acting.
God, he answered.
And then he was being substantive.
That is why we are taking him on.
And I think that kudos to President Mahama is showing some good glimpses. They said Akroma safe Anapa. We've seen him, being
today's Anapa.
Today's Anapa. So
all right.
We hope that he carries on.
All right. Okay. So Solomon, My discovery of the year 2024. Keep the fire blazing. 2025 as well. And then also former MP for Myong, Mohammed Abdulaziz. Thank you for coming as well. Has already started wearing what all of them when they come to power they wear.
I wouldn't mind you.
Ghana's coat of arms.
You are becoming a bad friend. I wouldn't mind
No,
you.
it's just on the side. Don't worry. And then also, Dr. Asante, PhD. So UCC, political analyst as well. Thank you for joining us. He moved to Accra the first week of December to help us with all the election issues. Actually, all of us, when I say all of us, the whole of the top media houses.
Yes.
Right here, and so he's done some great work. And then also, AKA admissionfastchecker.com.
Admissionchecker.com.
Okay. AKA admissionchecker.com.
Yes.
www.admissionchecker.com. So Professor Compliments are pump up.
We're helping pump up.
Ebusunya me pacho me do bibia se wenyamre na wabenya e video ni bi nso ahwe me pacho se na no first time abacha ni so mesra se ni die kwan so o hwe video ni se woni je onko ada please subscribe to our YouTube channel, like and share our videos. My love is so nya bi and share me pacho wo commenter mesra eni die kwan so ye constructive ne fa share comment section ye beje na ya kenkan ye nipa ye no mo na ye adwuma ya no fuma na se ye ya de na enya mo betim da share comment section ye beje na ya kenkan ye no mo na ye adwuma. Nyankopon hia ye nyina. Stay tuned for more updates. Medasi.